What's up, Khalil? Coming to us live from the car. Where are you going? Where are you coming from?
So I feel like I'm always in the car. What's going on, Jess? This is my
Mobile office.
mobile meeting Zoom office, honestly, consistently. We're on a little bit of a lunch break right now, so I had to jump in here. That's why I was asking when I was talking to Lauren about the timing of it. I was like, yeah, I gotta pick a time where I can actually get away. So
Well, we appreciate you stepping away from your clients and your busy work schedule and jumping in between clients. Why don't you tell everybody what you do and who you help?
yeah, for sure. So like I said, my name is Khalil. I am a group fitness talent development coach. And essentially, I help with instructors and trainers to create more success in their classes, in their personal businesses, in their lives overall. And um, I really just help trainers win. That's really my
Yeah.
goal. I found that there wasn't a specific space for instructors and a place for them to really develop their talents and move on to their next levels. There's so many coaches for trainers specifically, where it's like, yeah, online PT and like online coaching, but there really wasn't a space for instructors to level up. And as an instructor myself, I've been one for probably almost 8 years now, starting
Wow.
out kind of on my own, doing my thing with my two brothers. And I just found there wasn't a space that helped instructors learn business skills and marketing skills and sales skills. And most studios will only really teach an instructor how to teach their class,
Mm,
which makes sense for their businesses,
sure.
right? But unfortunately, that doesn't always allow room or space for the instructor to really grow on their own. And they often feel tethered to the studio. When
Absolutely.
truly the value proposition there is that these instructors bring so much to these studios, it should be the other way around. And developing talent is so important to me. So that's really what I do.
Yeah.
And that is my passion.
Ah, I love it. And I love you and I love your content and I love what you do. And, my audience for the most part knows I was a trainer for 18 years, group fitness, personal training, and I could not agree more. And I have found that this is across the board in all industries. So a lot of times we'll go in and we'll take the certification to become a breathwork facilitator, the 3-day thing to become a real estate agent, the weekend crash course to be kettlebell certified or, CrossFit certified. And we're getting certified across the board in all these industries in particular skills, but they're not actually teaching us how to build the business. And something that I love that you just said was that the trainers often forget, or the instructors, that they are the value proposition. So when you're working for a company or a boutique fitness studio, we sometimes, and I know because I did it, we kick our feet up and we're like, okay, cool. Like they're going to bring me the clients and they're going to bring me the leads. And while that might be
Definitely.
true, even if they're taking a percentage of it, what often happens is you don't stay there forever. And so there's so much power in building your own brand. And that is something that you have done so well. And what I think is the coolest thing about you is the day that we're recording, you currently have 374 followers.
Yeah.
374 followers, yet you put out such impactful content. You were able to fill a group coaching program that you launched with a quote unquote small following. And you don't allow that small following, I'm just going to say it like that. You don't allow that to hold you back from showing up with power and with passion and with purpose. And I just love it. So, can we talk about that for a second? Like, have you had to overcome the thoughts of, or has this ever bubbled up, like, who's going to listen to me? Who cares? There are other people doing this too. There are other people with more followers doing this.
No, absolutely. I think it's funny, something I learned from you early on. And it's what's also really surreal about this moment right now is that I was listening to your podcast last year.
Yep.
When I was first introduced to kind of your brand and who you were. It was Nick Pags. We were on a
Sure.
call together via like a different startup. And he had told me to find your content, listen to it. So I started listening to your podcast. And so now being on it is definitely crazy. but some of the content that I had heard on there and then also early on from you was about building a following. And number one, the fact that you don't need a large following to have a profitable business. And then number two, what I've really embraced the idea of is that you really only it's practice early on. Like I'm making content and obviously I'll keep making content, but I'm making it now for a smaller audience where I can experiment more, I can have fun with it, I can try different things. And as I'm building out my skill set of making content, I mean, even just over the course of being an empower in the program, it was like I learned so much about content creation. And it's like, yeah, I still like my following is not huge, and that's fine because I've realized that number one, you can make money with a smaller following. And number two, it's really about the kind of audience you're speaking to, right? It's not about how many you have, it's are they qualified to be in your audience in the first place.
Yeah.
So after understanding all of those things, it makes it so much easier and so much lighter to make content that is fun for you, that is engaging for you and your audience, because you're like, it's okay if I don't have a huge following. Like,
Yeah.
that's not what this is necessarily for. It's about being able to speak to the right person, give them the right kind of value. And truly, that's something I've embraced after kind of listening to your philosophy around content creation and just believing you don't need a huge following to make money. That was
Yeah.
huge for me.
Yeah. And you don't. I mean, we don't need to talk numbers, but you made your investment back and more
For
from
sure.
Empower with, 300 something followers. And now the impact that you're making on those instructors' lives and what they're bringing to their rooms that they're teaching in and their salaries that they're making, like it's just wild. Something that you just said right now, though, I love, and I want to just circle back. So you said something, and I'm going to butcher it, but you basically said, with a smaller following, I really have this ability to sort of test things out and play. And, we can always do that. But I will tell you, new levels, new devils. And when you have more eyeballs on you, it is a little bit scarier to sometimes test things out, or people expect certain things from you, or you think that they expect certain things from you. And
Mm,
so there's freedom that comes with having a smaller following where you don't have as many people looking at you yet, or they don't expect something specific from you yet. And there's definitely some freedom that comes with that. And I know in Empower, I tell you guys all the time, the guys and the girls in Empower, like, a lot of people in there are in the best place in their business that they'll ever be, because most people in Empower don't have overhead. They don't have team. They're not paying
mm,
salary. Right. Like, it's just a lot of people even come in who still have a 9 to 5 job, which I understand they hate it and they want to leave, but it's also like, yeah, but if you could reframe that job as like it's like a loan that you never have to pay back. That's what I did with teaching. It was like my teaching salary was like, wait a minute, what if I just looked at this as like, yeah, I don't love it every minute of every day, but I go to work, they pay my bills, I never have to pay them back. And in my time off or at lunch when I'm sitting in the car, just like you are right now, doing an Instagram live to 3 people back, 6 years ago, um, they're paying me to go get my side hustle started. And how cool
for
is
sure.
that? So I love how you look at it with the whole, small following. And at the end of the day, 374 people is not small. Like, if they showed up at your house, you'd be like, I can't fit 374 of you in, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. What are some of the blocks that come up for the clients that you're working with, as
Yeah.
as fitness professionals?
I think part of it is a little bit of ego.
Yeah.
I think as instructors, it's really about what we're used to being, the positions we're used to being in. So as
Yes.
instructors and coaches, we are legitimately always teaching other people. We're always helping them. We're always supposed to have the answers. We're always supposed to be like motivating them. And then now we flip it around and it's like I'm supposed to learn more from somebody else.
Yeah.
And honestly, the instructors in my program, one of the reasons I love them so much is because the best instructors always know that there's more to learn. And the best instructors understand they need to ask for feedback and you learn how to take feedback the right way and be able to apply feedback. It's really about being coachable. And it's funny because since we are the coaches, we're always asking everyone else to be coachable. But it's like, look, if you want to keep getting better, you have to be coachable too. So I think really understanding how to drop the ego and learn that you don't know everything about your business, I should say, your class. And specifically, most people don't know how to think about their class as a business. That's the most
Yes.
interesting part. And that I think that's the main block because that really encapsulates all of the general issues that I would see, or I shouldn't say issues, areas of improvement that I can see with coaches,
Yeah.
where it's like if they understood the business side of marketing their class, if they understood the business side of retaining clients, that's huge. I mean, it's not just like you make more money from having a consistently growing class. But if you add someone and lose someone, it stays the same the entire time. So
Yes.
understanding retention, understanding how to, this is the biggest one, I think, understanding how to create a differentiated value proposition for your personal class because it is different than everyone else's class. It needs to be because no one is paying for a boxing class. They're paying to take it with Jess. That's the Jess experience. But if they're taking, they can take a boxing class in any corner It's literally everywhere. So we're
Yeah.
not talking about boxing anymore. We're talking about the individual experience that the instructor is providing. So once they start to understand that they are the key differentiator and they lean into that, they honestly grow exponentially. And that's really the biggest block, but also the biggest piece of excitement for them, where they can really, if they lean into this, you gotta win. There's no way you can lose. You bet on
Yeah.
yourself, you know?
Oh, that's a soundbite right there because it is, especially as we'll call it the industry, meaning digital education, coaching, and like online marketing. It is more saturated than ever. Saturation is not a problem. We shouldn't shy away from it. I talk about it all the time. Saturation causes innovation. But at the end of the day, what I do, what you do, it is harder to sell today than it was 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 7 years ago, 11 years ago when I first started. It just is because it's more saturated. So, to your point, it's not boxing, right? Like there's boxing everywhere. It's not coffee. There are coffee shops everywhere. It's like what makes you unique and being able to figure that out. And that's something that you help your instructors do. But the other thing that I loved is what you're saying goes across all industries. So, as the coach, you're saying we kind of have this ego, and I say we because I am a coach and I was a trainer. There's this ego of like, I know my stuff, right? Like I know my stuff when it comes to fitness and I know my stuff when it comes to the body. And a potter knows their stuff when it comes to pottery and a photographer knows their stuff when it comes to photography. But when you're then trying to turn that into a business that you're monetizing, you might not know everything about business and you're not supposed to know everything about business because that's
Yes.
not your expertise. I love that so much. Was that ever a block for you? Was there a mindset shift that had to happen? Was there a book you read where you were like, all right, I'm great at what I do, but I don't know business?
Yeah, yeah. Um, I would say that when I started understanding that I was burning out,
Mm,
as an instructor, I was thinking there's got to be something else here. And there's got to be something that I'm missing. So I think that's honestly one of the ways that I was able to relate to some of the clients in my program was that I understood the pain points of them burning out and wanting to make more money. And you're looking for the reason why, and you can't figure out what the gap is because they already teach a good class. Most instructors, like they can learn how to teach a class.
yeah.
It's not about the class though. It's about, I always say this to my clients, it's about creating an experience. So it's not the class specifically. Yes, you can teach someone how to box. Yes, you can teach somebody how to lift weights. But it's not about the knowledge there. It's about sort of how do you portray that?
Yeah.
How do you create an experience there? And all of that goes into truly what a business is. So how do you market it? How do you make somebody feel welcome when they walk in the door? What is the client experience? What is the customer experience? Because we're looking at two different kind of pieces of the equation. We've
Yeah.
got the actual product, right? And then we have everything else you need to sell the product. But we're always really just taught about how to create the product, not how to move that product and
Yeah.
how to market that product and how to relate to somebody and why they would need that product. That's the main thing. So I think for me, understanding that I was starting to burn out, how do I make more money and work less?
Yeah.
Because I got into the industry to do three things in particular. One was to make as much money as I wanted to, right? And
Right.
I think money is often when we think about trainers, oh, like they want to help people, obviously, but you got to make money doing it. The only way I can stay is if I'm paying my bills and making money. So
Yeah.
making as much money as I wanted to, working on my own schedule, and
Yep.
then most of all, I think the biggest thing like the pinnacle of my career, and I think most careers honestly, is to be able to help somebody else while you make money. So it's freedom of time, freedom of making as much as you want to, and then freedom to help people. So when I realized that my time was shrinking, even though I
Yeah.
joined an industry with a flexible schedule, and that my money wasn't as high as
Bait
I
and
wanted it to
switch.
be, you know, even after I'm working all these hours, I'm thinking like there's got to be something that I didn't learn in
Yeah.
in the book, in the certification. So
Right.
what I try to teach is everything that wasn't in that book, and
Yes.
that's what I give to my instructors.
It's so good. And they're two different languages. It's like the skill set is a language and then the marketing and the business side is a different language and we're oftentimes not taught that language. When you're talking about sort of feeling the feelings of burnout, was that particularly from your schedule? Was that trading time for money? Was that you didn't have any more hours left to train more people so you couldn't make any more money? Or was it just like I am constantly on working hard all the time, doing a lot of hours and doing content and trying to send emails? Like where was the burnout coming from?
I think I felt like I was on edge. I felt like I was burnt out, and that was the realization for me. So I got to the doctor and they said that I was pre-hypertensive. And I'm thinking like, that don't make no sense to me.
Yeah.
Like
I'm so
I'm
healthy. I'm so fit.
literally, I'm eating the right foods, exercising all the time, but I realized that I was always on.
Yeah.
I was always trying to go to the next place. I would ride my bike when I was teaching studio class. I rode my bike everywhere. So I'm like sprinting to the studio, then I'm sprinting home, then I'm training a client, then I'm trying to take a nap, then I'm trying to make some food, then I go back out to the studio to teach another class. So I'm
Then I
going
sit in
here
the
to here
car
to
and get on a
here.
call.
Right. Look, right. So it's like I just figured out that it was a time thing because I was up early and then I was
Mhm.
going to bed late. And I'm like, how does this happen?
Yeah.
So I was just, it was a mix of everything you said. But the main thing was feeling like I couldn't I couldn't pay for drinks freely and I couldn't take an Uber freely
Yeah.
as much as I was working. I'm like, how do I
Yeah.
work this much and not make as much money as I should be? So when I figured that out, I said, you know what, there's got to be a switch here. And it was funny during the pandemic, um, when everything shut down, it gave me a chance to reset.
Yeah.
And I started to build my schedule around how I can make more money in less time and leverage my time better. So that was the main switch for me, feeling like I was overworked and kind of even getting sick to the point of where everything shut down. I got a chance to reset it. And then I figured out, okay, this is how you build it the right way. Because before was clearly not the right way.
Yeah. I'm so curious. Time obviously was a pain. Time was an issue. You didn't have a lot of it, and I get that. How in the world did you decide I'm going to go join a group coaching program that has live components that I need to be on coaching calls? I don't need to be, but I should be on the live coaching calls. I'm going to have to do homework. I don't have any time, and yet I'm going to go join this thing that's going to require more time. Like, how'd you get over that hurdle?
Honestly, it was you have to have the investment mentality,
Yeah.
to be quite honest. Like it's the same as fitness. I think coaches honestly understand this better than anyone else because we always try to sell fitness in terms of an investment. So this is an investment in your health. It's a long-term thing. You'd rather pay for this versus being sick later, like health as well, all of that. So for me, first I had gotten a new job and I ended up moving and I knew I was going to have a huge switch. So I wasn't running around so much on my bike. I didn't feel like I was so strapped for time. Now my time was really a 9 to 5. And so I was like, okay, let me see if I can, after I moved, I had this idea of I want to start coaching people on the success, how to create the same success that I had in the group fitness industry. Because I had been on like a couple different TV shows, the Today Show, Good Morning America, Fox, ABC. I got in a couple of awards in Philly. So I done this.
Yeah.
This is me, right? This is my thing. I love teaching. And I said, I looked around at a lot of other studios and instructors, and I'm thinking, I know there's a way to make a consistent product of a class where the experience is always high level. Because a lot of the times it's hit or miss. But myself and my two brothers all had the same success in the industry of being able to create a consistent experience.
Wow.
And I said, I know there's a formula for this. So I started making content around it. But this is kind of where it gets like a little messy. You start making content, you start trying to build this thing, but I had no true roadmap. And I said, Khalil, if you really want to get serious about this, if you actually want to make some money in this and you actually want to become a coach that helps other instructors develop their talent, helps studios develop their talent on a commercial level and a sort of like B2C and a B2B level, you've got to get a plan. So when I found your stuff from Nick as a recommendation, I was like, this is exactly what I've been looking for. And I felt like it came at the right time. I was ready. I was in the space of I want to create a business that's going to help me help other people and make more money at the same time doing what I love to do. I get time to switch. So for me, getting over that hurdle was really if you invest this money in 3 months, it's gonna work. There's like as long as you do it,
As long as you
it
work it.
works.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like it's easy and it's simple, I should say.
Yeah.
Simple but not easy.
Yeah.
I'm like, if you just do it, it's gonna work. The hurdle is not there. You just have to do the work.
Yeah.
So that's really honestly, that's all it was. And I knew after 3 months that after seeing your success, and again with the smaller following too, that was huge. With
Yeah.
the smaller following, breaking things down, I said, she's got it already. Just listen to her. That's what you have to do. So
Yeah, be
that's what I did.
coachable. It's so cool. I'm doing a couple of these back-to-back conversations right now with some of your classmates as well. So I just spoke to Mike and I spoke to Spencer. I'm speaking to Shannon. And this same theme keeps coming up. And I just need to, edify all of you for being coachable and for raising your hand and for asking for help when it is something that's kind of ego driven. But also, this is huge. It works if you work it. And too many people think I'm just going to invest in something and the sheer credit card transaction is going to give me the result. And that's not the case. And so we always say when people are looking to potentially join Empower, you have it all wrong. You're not actually investing in me. You're not investing in my process and you're not investing in my team. You're investing in yourself. And so there's a personal responsibility that comes with making an investment. And I do believe that there's no such thing as a bad investment. We've had a couple icky ones where maybe it's even in Mike and I have invested in startup companies, real estate, the crypto market, the stocks, whatever it is. So we've had a couple that haven't gone the way that we wanted them to go, but they're not bad investments because you can always take a lesson from it. And so I want to publicly acknowledge you because you were basically in a closet or in the car for every single coaching call that you were on. You weren't always able to physically unmute yourself because maybe you were at the studio, but you got everything that you asked for everything that you needed. You showed up in between the coaching calls. You were in the Facebook group. You did what you needed to do to get the most out of the program for what you wanted and needed. And then of course it yielded pretty incredible results that are just the beginning stages of your business. And I can't wait to see what it's going to do next. I'm honestly surprised that your following hasn't just exploded yet because your content is it's so good. It's so good. So, oh man, I could talk to you all day. I just love talking to you. I love your smile. I love your energy. Where can people find you and follow you, whether they're a fitness professional or not? You guys, the content that Khalil puts out, you can learn from it. He knows a thing or two about talent. He knows a thing or two about marketing. He's great at video. So where can people find you and follow you?
Absolutely. So my Instagram is the Khalil Jones. That's TheKhalilJones. So glad I spelled that correctly. So it's the Khalil Jones on Instagram. You can find all of my information there. I've also got a free guide if you want to kind of get into my content a little bit. It's called the 8 Instant Strategies to Growing Your Class using Instagram. So Instagram, of course, is one of the biggest ways that we market our classes kind of in this day and age. So definitely pick that up if you want to kind of get a taste of what I'm about. Plenty of my content, plenty of me making videos. I make a lot of videos. So but yeah, that's my Instagram, that's my information. And hit me up. I would love to speak to you. There's plenty of free stuff too. So if you're not ready, to join up just yet, just check me out, vet me first. I promise I'll talk to you about it. I did the same thing with Jess. So
yeah. And like I said, I can edify. He is the real deal. There are no smoke and mirrors here. Definitely grab the free download. Even if you're not a fitness professional, there are things that you can take away for your own industry that Khalil has in how you're basically going to be utilizing yourself as the unique brand and your social media. So I love that. I'm going to wrap it with one of our signature questions. You ready?
Okay.
Okay. So we named the Digital Business Evolution company and podcast that name because we believe that you're always evolving and growing. And as you evolve and grow, so does your business. And rather than pivots, which has a negative taboo, it's the evolution, right? And it's just growth. So I'm curious, what is your next business or personal evolution?
Yeah. I think I heard this question on the podcast. Did I hear before?
Yeah, it's on. We do every episode. Yep.
Oh my God, that's so cool. I would say my next one, I honestly have a lot, but one of my next ones is really tackling the studio space. Yeah. So right now I'm doing B2C, but to be honest, in the back of my head, there's always been the B2B market because I know I want to help studios grow as a whole. I want to write, some of their experiential SOPs. I want to help them create this consistency with their clients and their instructors every single class they teach. So right now I'm on the individual level. I love it, and it's funny. I think I don't know if you said anything about this, but I thought about kind of like the path that I want to take in terms of getting to that commercial side. And at first I tried to go commercial first. I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and just pitch these to these studios, pitch these to these companies. The problem was I don't think I was proven enough yet. And that's okay, right? The idea of what you were talking about of you earn the right to go wide. Yep. Definitely starting off with the individual, I think was the right path and being able to really get to work with people one-on-one closely And then once I prove myself, I think in that arena, it'll be much easier for me to go to the commercial gyms, kind of like more of a corporate setting. But yeah, if anyone is working at a corporate gym, hit me. Like, I'm ready to go. So
Oh, I love this. I love this so
but that's
much.
what I would say.
Yes, I'm so
Yeah.
excited. Well, I can't wait to watch the evolution of it all, and we're here to help in any way we can. So
Thank you.
super excited, super grateful for you. I love and adore you. I love everything that you're doing. Please go give Khalil a follow, tag take a screenshot of the episode, tag some of your takeaways, your little sound bites that you found. Make sure you tag Khalil at the Khalil Jones, tag me at I am Jessica DeRose. And as always, friends, cheers to your evolution. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you loved this episode, I invite you to be a part of our ripple effect and share it with a friend. And please, if you feel called, take 30 seconds to leave a 5-star review, and I'll be forever grateful. Until next time, cheers to your evolution.